Hey guys, Civilord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse Rulers of the Sun, Sunman. Brought to us by the fine folks over at, say it with me now, Mattel. That said, was this guy a Target exclusive? The Pighead Masterverse figure wasn't, but as far as I know, this guy's only been popping up at certain Target stores, and I say that because my good buddy Altenda pre-ordered this guy quite some time ago, pretty much when he went up for pre-order, and never got his. Yet somehow I managed to get one on clearance for $10, courtesy of, you know him, you love him, the local friend who shall not be named for privacy reasons. How can you love someone you don't really know? Especially their name. I don't know. You figure that out. We don't have time for that. We gotta review this figure, man. So we're going to cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Taking a look at Sunman's accessories here. He comes with a pair, I'm going to hold of him here, of alternate hands. He's got a fist hand for his right side and another grip hand for his left side. Pretty standard fare as far as Masterverse is concerned. And then he does come with his mighty end of a spear. This is not a sword. This is a spear. Okay, for those of you out there going to sit here and tell me this is a sword in this particular region, this is a spearhead. It is shaped like a spearhead. This handle, if it was twice as long, this would be a spear. So it's a short spear. But I guess it's supposed to be his sun blade or sun sword or sun whatever. Then he also has a shield, the sun shield, which you guys know how I rule with shields. I typically do this. Slip the hand in like that and then peg it onto the arm. We don't have time for that today. Trying to make these reviews as short and sweet as possible. Most likely failing in the process, but hey, can't blame a guy for trying, right? So with all that being said, I did put the open hand on him so I can just slip the shield on him before we take a look at some size comparisons. But bringing Sunman in a little closer here, if I can get a hold of his butt. Jeez. This one appears to be based more so off the Origins 3-pack Sunman, as opposed to the Arnold from Different Strokes Sunman we got in the Origins mainline, which I'm okay with because I like the kind of buzz cut a lot better than the borderline afro the other one has going on. Which is why I might swap his head out for a Clamp Champ head, maybe. Another thing this one does better than that one, the wings are actual wings. They have joints. You can spread them out like this. You can rotate them. That said, they do have big metal pins back here, so that's kind of unsightly. Not ideal, really, but it's okay. These are like nice translucent material, too. You can do it with the other side. I will say my wing on this side's a little loose. And they don't really line up. I don't know what's up with that. But this one appears to sit a little different from the other one. And I'm not quite sure why that is. But it is what it is. It's fine. I paid $10 for it. I'm going to deal with it. But in the way of his articulation, he can look up pretty good. He can look down. He can tilt his head side to side. He can look side to side. This isn't a buzz cut, this is a flat top, that's what that is. He's got disc hinge shoulders that go out, back down, you can rotate, bicep swivel, double elbow. That works okay. He's got a swivel and hinge in the wrist, wrong hinge for grip hands, but whatever. He does have the diaphragm joint that is on a lot of the older figures. It does not have the rotation. You can see he's not rotating at all there, so kind of unfortunate, because the Pighead, to my understanding, has the newer articulation. So hopefully, maybe down the line, we'll get a variant of this guy with maybe the Different Strokes hair. And that way we can have the rotating diaphragm there. That said, he does have a waist twist. It's kind of hard to use because of the the torso is. Now it looks like he's supposed to have something in the front here. I don't think he is. There's no like slot for it or anything. So he can kick his legs forward, back a little bit, out a little bit. He's got really hard like side skirts here. Another thing they've improved with a lot of recent releases, they've softened this material up, so you can actually kick the legs out to the side. He does have a thigh cut, does have double knee, which can bend pretty well. There you go. As much as that skirt thing will allow, that is. Straighten it out. He does have a boot cut right at the cuff there, and then he has a hinge in the foot. Does this one move a little better? No, they're both pretty tight on him, but I guess it's better that they're tight than loose. There we go. There's one pop. He can hinge his foot. Then he's got a rocker with peg holes in the bottom of the feet, which you might want to use for this guy. The wings do add some upper body weight, but for the most part, he can stand up on his own and be the most powerful hero of them all. Not sure what I think of that title, because I'm pretty sure He-Man is the big kahuna in Eternia here, so I don't know where this guy thinks he can just walk in and take his title like that. Said, let's give him his sun spear sword stabby thing. I will say, I like the tribal aesthetic of Sunman, and I think that's cool, but I think his power is ridiculous. He's got magical skin. I mean, really? If that's not a political statement, I don't know what is. We don't get political on this channel because politics are stupid, but I don't know. It feels like Mattel is trying to win over a certain demographic with the Sunman line, if I am being perfectly honest with you. And so let me slide his hand in here. Give it a little bend, that way it can have some friction to stay in there. There we go. That should stay in there. I don't know if it will, but we'll see. There we go. But there is Sunman with his weapons, all ready to go and kick some pighead booty. Pighead is the only villain in this line that I know of. Quite possibly the only villain in this line, period. Which kind of sucks, because I was hoping to see some more villains from the Sunman series, but it doesn't look like we're getting any of those. So, yeah, that kind of stinks. And is it weird that Pighead's like the only white guy, and he's the white guy that got turned into a pig monster, like an ugly pig monster? I feel about that, man. That's it. Yeah, it seems kind of, I don't know. Seems like a dig against the other side, if you know what I mean. And here on Overlord Productions, we're all about being the better person and just walking away when there's a problem. But yeah, I gotta tell you, it's kind of wrong. So, with all that being said, before this turns into a I don't know, a PSA or whatever, like my Lexington review, let's move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Sunman alongside the OG most powerful man in the universe. And of course, I am talking about the new Eternia He-Man, Viking He-Man to be exact, not just any He-Man. That said, we also have Skeletor, the Lord of Destruction, Barbarian Skeletor to be exact, not just any Skeletor, because not just any Skeletor will do. Because in my opinion, Sunman works best with the new Eternia subline in Masterverse, because at this current time we only really have the 40th anniversary He-Man as a kind of tried and true classic vintage toy version of the character in Masterverse form. So I think for right now at least, the new Eternia subline is where Sunman is going to hang out on my shelf. But with that being said, getting these two out of here. This, of course, would not be an Overlord Productions video without Mythic Legion's brother Mandibilith. And another awesome black character, the MK11 Spawn, who Sunman stacks up to quite nicely. So with all that being said, and wrap things up, some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the fact that I just noticed the wings are not translucent yellow on this figure, kind of a bummer there, it's blatantly obvious what the fine folks over at Mattel were thinking when they acquired the Sunman license. I mean, what kind of fool do you take me for? Obviously a pretty big one. I thought these wings were clear, and it's blatantly obvious that they aren't. But that aside, you know, I kind of am not a fan when toy companies use socio-political ideology when they acquire licenses. It's like, we're not just going to make Sunman figures because they're kind of rare and not a lot of people have them, and we want people to have them. It's, oh, we need more diversity in a toy line that's already diverse. I mean, seriously, Masters of the Universe, not diverse? Give me a freaking break, dude. That said, all that aside, I think Sunman here is a fine addition to the Masterverse line and will look pretty sweet with the other new Eternia characters, also from, of course, good old Masterverse line. That said, I heard the pig head is a little bit better than this guy, not just because he has the updated torso articulation, but he's just better somehow. And I am very curious to delve into that because my good buddy Altenda, who I will hopefully get a Sunman for at some point, wait for him to go on clearance, buddy, we'll hook that up in the near to distant future. So stay tuned for a pig head review. Can't say I'll be doing all the Origins figures. I have Sunman and Pighead in those, but I did not buy all the other ones because I thought they looked freaking stupid. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later, if I don't get canceled.